Mark Antony's speech at the funeral of Julius Caesar. Friends, Romans, citizens, listen to me. I came to bury Cezar, not to praise him. The good that is done is buried with our bones, so be it with Cezar. The noble Brutus told you that Cezar was ambitious. And if it is true that it was, the fault was very serious, and Cezar paid for it with his life. Here, in the hands of Brutus and the others. For Brutus is an honorable man, as are all of them, all honorable men. I'm here to speak at Cezar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and fair to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. He brought many prisoners to Rome to be freed, filled Rome's coffers. Did that seem like an ambitious move by Cezar? When the poor man suffered, Cezar wept. Now ambition makes people hard and without compassion. However, Brutus says that Cezar was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all saw that at Lupercale's feast I thrice offered him the royal crown, which he thrice refused. Was that ambition? But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus, we all know, is an honorable man. I do not speak here to disagree with what Brutus said, but I have to say what I know. You all once loved him and had reason to love him. What reason hinders them now from honoring him in death? At that moment Marco Antonio pauses in his speech, and the people of the city begin to reflect on what he said, and to question whether Cezar did not deserve the death he did after all. After this interlude, Mark Antony speaks again. Yesterday Cezar's word would face the world, now it lies here dead. Oh, if I were willing to lead their hearts and minds to riot and violence, I would speak ill of Brutus and Cassius, who, as you know, honorable men. I won't speak ill of them. I prefer to speak ill of the dead. I would rather speak ill of you and me than of these honorable men. But here is a parchment with Cezar's seal. I found it in his closet. It's his testament. When the poor read his will forgive me, I don't intend to read it. They will rush to Cezar's wounds and dip their handkerchiefs in his holy blood. The people complain about Mark Antony and demand that he read it. Be patient, friends, but I must not read it. You are not made of wood or iron, but human. And, being human, hearing Cezar's testament will explode. be furious. It is better that you do not know that you are Cezar's heirs, because if they find out, what will happen? So you're going to make me red? Cezar's will then make a circle around the body and let me show you the late Cezar, the one who wrote this will. Citizens, if you have tears, get ready to let them out. You all know this robe. See, this is where Cashuiza's knife penetrated. Through this other rent, Brutus, so dear to Cezar, thrust his knife in, and when he drew his accursed weapon from the wound, see how Cezar's blood flowed. And Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Oh gods! How Cezar loved him! Brutus' blow was the most brutal and the most vicious of all. For when the noble Cezar saw Brutus stab him, ingratitude, more than the strength of the traitorous arm, stopped his heart. Oh, what a brutal fall, my fellow citizens! So I and you and all of us too fell, as this bloodthirsty treachery bloomed upon us. Yes, now you cry. I can't see that you feel a little pity for him. Good souls! They cry. Then they see our Cezar's mantle torn to pieces. Good friends, dear friends, I don't want to encourage your revolt. Those who performed this act honored. What particular grievances and interests led them to do what they did, I don't know. But they are wise and honorable, and I am sure they will give you their reasons. I didn't come to steal your hearts. I'm not a good speaker like Brutus. I am a simple and straightforward man, who love my friends. Comments from people followed again, already now lamenting the murder and condemning the killers. Return of Mark Antony. Here is the will, with Cezar's seal. He left 75 drachmas to each citizen. But to you he left his goods, his farms on this side of the Tiber, with his trees, his orchard, for you and for the heirs of you and forever. This was Caesar. When will another like him appear? Revolted, the masses leave for the houses of the conspirators to avenge Cezar.